know why I've added that. We'll take that away. There we go. Don't know what I'm doing. Well, good evening, folks. You've got myself again. So welcome to the Rangers Rabble YouTube channel as Rangers managed to cap off a perfect Sunday in Scottish football. Rangers 3, Dundee 0. Obviously wasn't the most entertaining game for a long time, but then other results have made it a bit more exciting. I am joined by Kenny and Mark as we will go through all the things from that game today. Kenny, how you doing, mate?
It's a very, very sweet Sunday, man. It's unbelievable. Long are we always sitting here saying, I can't believe we didn't take that chance to go how many points or whatever, all the way back through by Clermont. And this time we've actually ground the result out. Dundee sitting a low block, gained 2 on them, gained 2 closer to the other one. So, yep, happy.
Mark, how you doing, mate?
I'm buzzing, mate. It's been a good Sunday. So the game was a bit of a slog, I think, the first half and that, but obviously we'll get into that. But it's all worked out in the end, so pretty pleasing Sunday.
Mark, what's happening to that room? All the boxes have disappeared. What's happening? Last time we were on, it was like boxes everywhere.
It's like slow build of a sofa bed, mate. That's getting done tonight, so that'll be up tonight, and then curtains is in the next agenda.
Fucking there you go. That's what you get on the Rabble. You get talking about boxes and rooms and everything. That's what happens.
Home design, mate. That's it. Interior design.
Why not, mate? Listen, we'll get right in a bit then, Kenny, will we? Obviously, first half, Rangers opened the scoring after what seemed like an absolute delay of like 5 minutes because in Scotland, we can't have issues, and VAR decides that it doesn't want to work. Can I get it to work? And the referee has to ask Stephen Presley and Danny Roll, are you all right gone with VAR for the first couple of minutes? It seemed like it was going on forever, but it just looked like it was going to be a game where how can we play in Scottish top flight football and VAR isn't working before the game even starts?
You can't have an elite game of football and for 5 minutes you've no had VAR switched on. So I think it's embarrassing. I think we're not doing the very best that the other leagues laughing as it is of all the governing bodies, whether it be England or abroad. And now we're a bloody laughing stock 5 minutes into the game because apparently VAR isn't turned on. And I'm like, it's not a button. They're all sitting in front of it. It's what they're doing. So it was unbelievable. It was another one of those situations where you're sitting thinking, geez Louise, man, are we in the wrong league? And you start thinking, right, Kavanagh, maybe you need to go and sit with Mr. Handlebar Moustache across the water and do something about it, because this is ridiculous. I mean, some of the decisions as well, you're going, wow, some of the free kicks as well. Alex, it wasn't just the VAR, there was quite a few incidents that you're saying there wasn't a free kick in that. The Asgard one, shoulder to shoulder, the one Miofsky and the boy in the middle of the park fell. The two of them fell. Nobody kicked each other. Nobody grappled each other. The ball's there to be played, and he gives a free kick to Dundee, and you're going, there must be people watching these games from all around the world, which they do with Rangers, and going, geez Louise. I mean, look at that one with the 50-50 with Asgard on the shoulder, and Olsen nearly took an aneurysm. I mean, you actually saw his reaction, because he's used to decent refereeing and a decent kind of league, and he was actually screaming at the pointing his 2 hands at the area. So am I surprised? No. How many times in the pod do we talk about it? If we are going to have to do anything, we're going to have to do it without moaning and take the crap they gave and just win the game, and that's what we did.
I mean, we're not going to move on until we actually talk about this, Mark. How many fouls were committed in that first half alone that Dundee just went unpunished? It took Ethan Hamilton, the Dundee captain at the time, getting a pretty late challenge on Nico Raskin to be booked. But even before that, there was two-handed pull downs been happening on Asgard. That was happening on Miofsky. There was tackles going in that you could see that the referee just didn't have control at all. Kevin Clancy just wasn't in control. And you thought, right, how many times are we going to see a foul? Finally, we got the yellow card. But in that first half alone, 4 or 5 of the Dundee players could have been booked. And we're lucky to actually escape bookings alone. I thought it was going to take the usual at Ibrox. We'd see a Rangers player booked, and then we would see the cards for the opposition. But actual fact, there was one there. But it was just shocking officiating.
That's what you expect. It's the standard lack of consistency. It's always the same, mate. But some of them, I was thinking that's got to be a clear yellow, and they just get away with it. But I think that's a thing that he does. Every game that I watch, he refs, he's pretty much like that. He tends to try and be overly lenient, but then he's like letting stuff go that should be punished by a yellow card, because then the players continue to do it, and then you let the game go that way, where it can be a bit of, I'm not saying it was overly aggressive, but they have these little niggly fouls because they're getting away with it. So I think brandishing the yellow when he did to that player, the captain, was fair. I think there could have been another couple before that, but I'm not overly fussed about the officiating, because we did win in the end, but it does cost us at times, which is the frustrating part.
No, it definitely does cost us. And I want to talk about the last probably talking point in the first half, Kenny, was the fact that Rangers did score in the first half. Ball comes in from a short corner. Scott Wilson puts a ball in, and it looks like there's a bit of a mix-up between the Dundee defender and Chukwueze, ends in the back of the net, and it takes VAR 2 whole minutes to decide that Chukwueze is a full yard offside. We can see that he's a full yard, absolutely nowhere near being onside, and yet it took VAR a full 2 minutes to decide, that's probably offside. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, put that in the opposition box and our box, and I wonder how that would have played out. I can't believe how embarrassing we're. I mean, this technology was meant to get brought into the game to lighten the mood, to show that when things are fouls, to get the importance of winning games or losing games, the arguments out the road. It was there designed for teams not to have any question, fans not to have any question. We're in a world, we are absolutely lost the plot, because we're seeing things with our own eyes, and things aren't getting taken for what you see. I mean, I don't know about you, man, but I feel as if I'm drunk half the time watching some of this stuff. Some of the things is crazy, man. I mean, and I'm not just talking about Scotland. VAR's mental, especially. It's not. I don't think VAR's mental. I think it's the human beings that we decide's okay to watch it, especially in Scotland, because I swear to God, man, they're all tripping. I think they're all up there banging tabs, because there's no way you can see. I mean, that guy, that's a linesman flag and a whistle blow, Alex. That's all that is. Let's go on with it. Looking, line. What bloody line do you need? He's nearly at his house. He's miles away. So just that's where it gets frustrating. You're taking and sucking the enjoyment completely out of football. Whether it's a goal celebration, whether it's an incident of a foul, or whether it's what we just witnessed with an offside that was miles offside. It was a dead quick up the road. 1990s. That was. See the minute that it took, minute and a half it took today, or whatever it was, 2 minutes. There've probably been 3 goal chances in the 90s by the time that he's kicked that bloody ball off. So totally agree with you, mate. It's another blundering and embarrassment that is the Scottish Premier League. No,
I mean that the first half, Mark, fully suited Dundee. I mean, Clancy did his best to keep it stop start, and it fully suited Dundee. They got into a shape that was just set out to frustrate Rangers. They had a few opportunities to actually get a goal themselves, and there was some good defending from us, but you can see that their game plan was to cut out any sort of space, shut it down. But one of the things that was really annoying when I was doing the watch along was the fact that how much time did our forward line want to give their defenders and their goalkeeper? It was just going back to front, side to side, back to the goalie, take 5 or 6 touches, waste it, and then kick it away. It was the most frustrating thing, and I think I've hit you with about 3 questions here, by the way, so you might need to get the pad out. Martin said this earlier on, might need to get the pad out. But is this where we missed somebody like Yusuf Chamiti? Because he wasn't giving them the opportunity to take that touches. He was hounding goalkeepers. Yes, they were then punting it long, but he was putting them under that pressure. We weren't seeing that at all today from Bojan Miovski.
No, so that's what I said in the group chat as well, that I think Bojan needed to come off at half-time, but he didn't. He doesn't offer you the same that Chamiti does. He doesn't offer you that press. Chamiti will harry all the time. He comes short as well to collect the ball and then to try and create things. I mean, obviously it's not come to fruition that well, but he does try at least to badger the keeper and stuff. I think you did see it in parts, but the first half, like you say, it was a lot of that standing off and just letting them mince about at the back, passing it back and forward, back, forward, which is obviously not ideal, that you should be pressing them. But I did see there was periods in the game where we did press well, and we did try to harry the keeper to make him make mistakes, and he kicked the ball out a few times. and he rushed kicks and stuff like that. But I think you see, Miovski was running towards the keeper, and then he's like that to the player. Go there, close that off, because I'm going to press him, and then if he's going to pass to that player and you close him off, we might get a turnover with the ball. But the other player wasn't doing it. So I think there's a lot of that. There's a disjointed press sometimes, which I think is part of the issue that we've got. But I did think Miovski needed to be replaced. Was Chimiti even on the bench?
No, Chimiti wasn't on the bench. And that's a few questions that are coming about Chimiti. He was, I think Danny Rose said he was ill, so I think he's got a bug that he was ill, and that's how he's not been on the bench. But I mean, the man that came on for him, we can talk about that in a wee minute, but he did his job, to be fair. But Kenny, it's going to be all over the press tomorrow, so let's just talk about it. The penalty to Rangers. The ball comes out from a ball to Asgard. Asgard puts it in the middle for Miovski. Miovski passed it across to Raskin. Raskin takes a shot, and he's absolutely clattered by Astley. And it took all of a second for Clancy to look and go, that's a penalty. Didn't even need VAR to intervene. He just went, penalty. For you, is that the right call?
Mate, it's a red card all day long, and you see it from behind. He's not even interested. He's going to take him straight out. See, at the end of the day, it's either a red card, boys, or it's a blue card. What a moron! I love it. Listen, at the end of the day, the challenge was he was. I think they say if he's not in control, he wasn't in control. The guy. He was taking him out no matter what. I know it was a last-ditch attempt, but see, at the end of the day, he had a shot and he was free. It was only him and the defender. The defender decides to leave the grass. If you look at it from behind, maybe only leaves the grass for a minute or so, but a second or so, but he still leaves the grass. First foot up high, second foot starts going. He's not in control. It's a goal-scoring opportunity. Red card. Clancy, clever. Very, very clever. Many times we say that with referees, oh, quick, yellow card. So you can't say anything about it. He done the same with the penalty, Alex. Completely bang on, mate. You clocked it. Both penalty, quick, game that. He's not going to get red carded. No, I'm sorry. I don't care if it's I'm not sure if it's an issue or what's going on with that, but VAR still got to go. No matter if it's a penalty or not. Go back and see if he's had intent there. And it's all about keeping players safe. Is that not right? Is that what refs are not there to do? And believe me, he was. I'm talking maybe inches for taking him and putting him in the injury list. So for me, I'd have gave him a red or a blue card, whatever one you want to give.
I mean, they have got the ability to go back and look at it, and if they deem it to be obviously a challenge that is stealing the ideas up at all, so there you go. They have got the ability to go back and look at that and say, no, I do think that is a red card.
Yeah.
But it was checked and cleared that the penalty was given, and they did not want to even look at a red card. There was nothing about it possible at all. But it shows, as Kenny said there, they wanted to just get it over and done with. Give the penalty, no aftermath at all. Give the penalty and get it over and done. But the man that stepped up to take the penalty, though, James Tavernier, a lot of pressure on it. 99 league goals, needed to score to get the 100th. And it's a great taking goal, to be fair. McCracken goes the right way, and he still gets it. And that's Kenny just catching up to the fact that it's 2 each, by the way. I told him like 5 minutes in the chat, but he's just catching up to the fact that's 2 each. But it was a great penalty from Tav to get us on the score sheet. I thought that was time to kick on, but wasn't to be at that point.
No, it was a well-taken penalty. I think he's well-deserved the 100 league goals. I think he's been a great player for us. I think we're going to obviously miss him once he goes, and I think maybe this season's going to be the last season that he's going to be in the team. I think he might leave at the end of the season, so I think we've got to enjoy him while he's still here. I think is now the mood that I'm in with James Tavernier. But it was a lovely penalty. I think it was a definite penalty. But the only thing for me with the card is it not they don't card you because of like a double punishment with the straight red. If they send you off and you get a penalty, it's like punishing you twice. Yeah, I thought, is that still a thing, or is that not a thing?
No, it's a thing. So they don't. It's like a double jeopardy. That's what they say.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. So that's probably why, because he was already on a yellow anyway. Was that challenge was at least a yellow.
Kenny, I will say to you, it's 3-2, but it's 3-2 to United, by the way, Kenny.
I know.
Kenny's
that's why I said I wish.
But there was a lot of confusion about that, Mark, because it came up in the chat as well. So a lot of folk thought that Ashley was on a yellow. It was Ethan Hamilton.
It was the captain that was on, yeah. That's fine.
Hamilton was booked in the first half, and then Ashley was the one that commits the foul, and he's obviously folk were calling for the second yellow. He wasn't on the yellow card, but he probably should have been for the amount of tackles that went in. But Rangers didn't make it any easier for themselves throughout the game, though, Mark. Tempo seemed to fall away after that.
Yeah, it was like I say, it was a bit of a disjointed first half. There was presses at time, then there was slackness at time. Big Fernandez, he was good for me today. I think some of his touches sublime. He's a good. I think he's coming on as a good centre back. I'm liking what he's shown us now. So I think it was a bit poor in the first half, and I was like, come on, we need a goal, obviously, because you could just see. I thought it was going to be one of the frustrating games like it used to be, but turns out no. Second half was a lot better, obviously, after the penalty and then the last 2 minutes.
But the James Henry Tavernier, he was full named in the chat during the watch along. He was full named. I think he's getting in trouble at that point in there, Kenny, because he's getting full name for it. But it was a great penalty took from Tav. But I thought that there was a few players that we need to speak about, because there was a few before we got into the rest of the game. A few that obviously made their debut, with Chukwueze getting his first league start, Skov Olsen getting his league start as well, but just looked like they were struggling to get into the game a wee bit. Chukwueze had a few sights at goal, but I think that's to be expected for Scottish football. It's very different to a lot of leagues. Sorry when you come and play here as an opposition player, but when you're put straight about it and teams just sit back, you don't see that in the Bundesliga, and you won't see that playing for Sturm Graz either. But it's something they're going to have to very quickly get used to. Yeah, but we've got to. You can't take nothing away from Dundee. If you look at the last 6 games, they've won 4 through one, something like that. So it's no different somebody that's easy to get to as a team. We always knew there was going to be, as Ian Thompson said in the chat, low block, another part of us, but they didn't. They were actually moving off us as well and trying to find a wee gap. But it's testament to them that they smother games, because they've got the results for it. You know what I mean? The fella that's come in has got them kind of playing not too bad at all. So there's some decent players in there as well. The captain's a good player. You know what I mean? The guy at the back, the Scottish boy that everybody's looking at, they've got decent players, and we found it very difficult to break them down. I honestly think the first half, apart from the last 10 minutes of the second half, the first half, you could see we had chances in us. Chukwueze was brilliant, man. And Rangers fans are going to hate me, but see the Neil Lennon in Leicester City? See that 6? You didn't even know what he was doing, but he would just plug the gap. 1-2 wee passes, 1-2, move. He was doing that, and he was finding space, and he was connecting the dots. We were running out of imagination in the last third. The thought process wasn't imaginative enough to produce that pass or that shot. Second half, I thought it died when Gassama come on. I'm going to be really honest. I think there was 2 incidences where the ball came to him. He lost it and then didn't chase his own man. And there was also one where it broke, and he was the closest to the ball, but jogged, and the Dundee guy gets the ball and goes in an attack. And I'm going, right, you've kind of unbalanced it slightly. Now, I'm not sure if that's basically... so is my internet playing up?
That was a minute.
No, you're all right, mate. You're a wee bit there.
My 9-year-old's got a couple of his pals in, man. They're on every single electronic instrument you can think of. And usually I tell them to stop, but I can't shout at them all, because then, you know what I mean, you're shouting at somebody else's wains, I'll get huckled. So, so bottom line is... You shout them on a pod. Good. Aye, no, they just shout back at me, man. They're like a mini breed of me. So, it doesn't work on them. But I'm just going to say one thing. We were running out of imagination. That was the only thing that was wrong with Dundee. We were never worried with Dundee. There was nothing worrying about Dundee when it got back to Giga and Fernandez and with Chukwueze and that in the first half. We weren't worried. It's just this. We wore Dundee down. That's what happened. They get tired. The second goal counted, and the third goal was always going to come. But I'd like to have seen that a wee bit earlier. Maybe 2-0 in the first half. Do you know what I mean? But it shows you we still need something imaginative. A player that's got that thing like Gascoigne where he drags players towards him, and then instead of a shot, it's a through ball. The last pass escaped us. The final pass escaped us. We got to certain places and passed the ball to Dundee sometimes, or we put it away. We've got to get somebody that can say, right, fake the shot, pass through, and we'll get a striker to finish it. So I think we're still a couple of players away for the finished article, guys, because if you come up against a team that score against you first, we're going to be up against the cosh.
No, definitely. And before we get talking about the rest of the game and some of the players that were there as well, let's hear for Danny Rowe and see what he had to say about that game.
The players' efforts out there.
Yeah, big respect to my players, what they perform at the moment. Not easy, I think, even today. You have to find solutions. You have to fight. You have to bring a lot of effort into win such a games. At the end, I like also to see 3-0. Yeah, it looks really solid, really deserved. The win is fully deserved. What we can improve, of course, after the 1-0, then take the second, the third chance to the 2-0. And have not so many transition moments against you. That was a little bit too open in this time of the game. Then I expect a little bit more control from our side. But how we fight, how we scored, I think that was also nice. Then the 2-0 after a pressing moment, well done from Danny. Then Gus make the good goal. All in all, I'm happy. What we are doing at the moment it's for me outstanding, and I think also the big respect now. We spoke about noises in the stadium today. There were noises, great noises after the game, at the end of the game. Yeah, let's carry on together. We on the pitch, you on the stands, and then there's a lot of good energy in the club.
It was a frustrating first half, obviously going in goalless, but the way the players did respond in that second half, Tav stepping up, his 100th league goal for the club as well, such a big moment for him, and to add to it towards the end, it really was a pleasing afternoon overall.
Yeah, I think generally the first half is always in such a game. You have to control the game. You have to find the spaces. We had some good moments still in the first half, but in some moments we had too many players behind the ball instead of in the next level. And this is what we will talk about the halftime, that we have to break the first pressing line better. And that was a great reaction. I think this is also outstanding moment for my team. You speak about things and they bring it then straight into the game. Yeah, big respect. I think they can enjoy as well. They should be, and my players should get a lot of credit for the performance at the moment from all of us. And let's continue this way. Long way to go, but it feels fantastic. 8 wins. This is phenomenal. It's not normal even for us, even for big teams. 8 wins. It's you have to work hard for this.
Yeah, could you really feel the energy from the stands, especially towards stoppage time to get you over the line? But obviously to add that 2 goals, it does make it that bit more comfortable.
Yeah, I think at the end, after the 2-0, I really enjoyed this moment. Yeah, until the moment where it's 1-0, you have to be careful. There's one situation, and then you will disappoint it today after the game. But how we act as a group was exceptional for me, and exactly the way what we want to do.
Yeah, you mentioned that 8 wins in a row, 5 clean sheets on the bounce too. The squad just seems in such a great place heading into another big week too.
Yeah, it's the basic at the moment. The clean sheets. Yeah, we give them today. They had no opportunity. I think what I remember so far. We were really solid in the defense. Again, back 4 make the good job. Give them not the situations, and then really it's about transition moments. We sometimes in the game we need a little bit more the rest defense. We were too slow in pushing up. This is what we have to improve. But today I will be not so critical of my group. Big respect to them. I like it to see. Let's carry on. 15 games to go, and then I think it's on.
He does a lot, Danny Rowe, to try and get the fans involved in it. He's one of the managers, Kenny, that he loves to say it's us. Whether we're on the pitch or we're in the stand, it's all about us. He says he doesn't want to get carried away, and you can see that. Doesn't want to get carried away. He's wanting to take it a game at a time, but he loves the energy that the fans have been given, especially the last 10 minutes. He just loves the energy, and you can see it. He doesn't want to get carried away, but he just wants to absolutely get so happy and excited with the fact that, what's that, 8 games, 5 clean sheets, he said there. Big man was right around. Came in, we're 8th in the league. Well, now second, 4 points off the top. The turnaround that Danny Rowe has done for this club is phenomenal, and he definitely will be getting Andrew Kavanagh's bank details at some point just to get the players in, because he fully must have the trust in them now, and the fact the way he's running this club. Can't be coming from 8th, gone to second, 4 points behind, and going, you've done an okay job, big man, but we need more.
Aye, and I think I was talking to wee Gilly earlier on, and he was telling us it's 8 wins, obviously, in the bounce, but 7 clean sheets in 10, which is, I mean, there's only one team that's on a severe march in this league when you look at the stats. I think Ian Thompson stuck them up. It's frightening. It's frightening what he's done. I put him in that kind of bracket where he's like a negotiator or something like FBI or that. A good one's gets you in trouble, and a bad one is very clever at talking folk down and being very clever with their vocabulary, right? And I'll let you know why I say that. I don't know if any's picked up on that, but the very clever point was the noises in Ibrox. Mate, he wasn't just talking about the good noises. That was very clever. He was basically saying to us, listen, you need to remember, this is a process. We're winning all the time. We're bossing games. Don't allow the old crap to come in. I thought that was amazing. I thought, that kind of clever. I mean, I do sales and stuff like that. That's just very clever. And it was so fast. And then he went on to the noises at the end of the game and they were happy. But he kept saying that it was the noises. We had the noises in the stadium. We've talked about that before. But then we had the noises at the end of the game and when we scored. And I'm thinking, he's basically saying, listen, just try not to put the players under severe pressure. We're on a great run. The last thing we want to do is our own fans go on top of them too quickly, too much. Because at the end of the day, anybody that's ever been round and involved with Walter Smith's era, right? Some of the leagues were won by 1-0, 2-1, things like that. And at the end of the year, you say that's how you win a league, don't you? So let's not get caught up in it's only 1-0 when it was 1-0, because at the end of the day, Dundee were never going to harm us. But he's a very articulated man. He's very clever. I like the fact that when he speaks, he's actually already thought about what he's going to say before he opens his mouth. Unlike contrary to some certain vegan sausage rolls eaters, sorry, Mark. Yeah, like he's trying to throw the camera at me. But you know what I mean, though? He's not like Russell Martin. He's obviously thought. He's clinical in what he's saying. He believes in what he's saying. He knows the process is working. He's shown us it's working. The team's on the ascendancy. We're rocking. You look at the league. You look at the stats. You look at the numbers. That's all Danny. The players he's bringing in seem to be fine. Olsen looks as if he's got a bit of class about him. He's just trying to get used to the pace. Chukwani just floats about, connecting the dots, like I said, and Danny's just letting us know that we're all in it together. And that's important to us because, you've got to remember that the previous manager walked in here and started wearing cardigans, guys. I know it sounds bloody stupid. Right. But you wouldn't see Danny Rowe doing it fucking Asda buying a button up. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. So
get the fucking penny on.
Aye, it doesn't happen. And the first thing that he said to Danny Rowe is, you need to wear a suit. And we're like, no bother, mucker. He wasn't interested. He's like, well, I'm here for the football. You want to wear fucking Mr. Blobby suit? I'll wear it. It doesn't matter. But there was the history behind the suit. It was the history behind the brogues. It was the managers that came before him that wore it. It was all this stuff. Danny bought into it. Danny just says, right, what do you use today? And I'll add my knowledge and skill set. But what's the etiquette of the club? Cavan is starting to do the same. I heard he's pumping money into the Heritage Foundation and all that, and going to be spending money into the tours of the 4 lads and all that. No director and no manager's done half the things they've done to buy into the club's etiquette first. Mm-hmm. And now he's bringing across everything he knows about tactics and starting for the foundations and building it through. And it's phenomenal to witness 10th place to 2nd place and chasing Hearts down. I love every minute of it.
I mean, you can't really put it much better than that, to be fair, Mark. You can't, but when you look at it, the comment that Shona said there, that he's got us playing as a team now. He does. We're not a group of individuals trying to play for themselves. It's a team. The moment the day, who was it that was tackled? I can't remember who was tackled, but was straight up defending his teammate, or it was Raskin and Giga. But they were straight in, and it was like, we don't see that. How long has it been since we've actually seen one of our players, bad tackle comes in, they're straight in going, referee, sort yourself out, because Mick would just walk away. And you see all the other teams, they'll have 2 or 3 of them wanting up there, getting in referee's face, and we all walk away. We're actually starting to act like a unit now, rather than being individuals. But I think it's because, as Kenny said, Danny Rowe's bought into it from day one. It's not took him a couple of months to get into it. He knows what it's about. He also probably knows, Mark, that he was third choice. We all wanted Steven Gerrard. Then it was Kevin Muscat. And then, right, okay, we'll take Danny Rowe. Nobody really wanted Danny Rowe back at the start when his name was suggested. Everybody was like, No, we want Gerrard, we want Muscat. Look at the position we're in now under Danny Rowe. He's bringing in players for the future rather than bringing in somebody who's going to do us for this season and away they go. Yes, we've got a lot of loan players, but when he's bringing in Scott Wilson with an option to buy, we've got Tara Robbins, we've got Chukwuemeka, we're looking at like Mikey Moore, we've brought in Chimiti. There's players there that I know he didn't bring in Chimiti by the way before we go into that one, but there's players that it's like he's building this for the future and he wants to see the players actually move forward. Especially somebody like Emmanuel Fernandez didn't get any game time under previous managers. Now he's getting every game. I think he's starting to buy into it and wants to see this club flourish, not just in one season, but for the future.
I think that's it. You both nailed it on the head there with that. I think it's a lot more team spirit, camaraderie between the players. There's a buy-in to what Danny's selling. They're all together, like you say. There's a fight there for each other. Everybody's. Before it would be someone would get tackled, whatever. They'd, like you say, they'd get up and they'd just like, let's go, let's reset. Now everybody's chomping at the bit to get involved, get in there, and make it happen. So I think they're all buying into what he's saying. So I'm happy with how it's going. Like you say, I think he has brought in some decent players. I still think we need one or two this window if we can get them. But obviously time's ticking now. But we're on the 25th, so we've still got until the 2nd, is it? I think it shuts on the 2nd. So we've still got about 7 days to get a couple of players in. So I think if we can get those key players in that he wants, then hopefully we can push on and we can make it a successful season. Because like Kenny said earlier, there's only one team that's making a really proper charge forward, and I think we all know who that is. So I think if we keep it going, we could be well in there at the end of the season with a shout of doing something special. Look, when it looked like we were going to end up mid-table at best at the start of the season. So I think I'm buying into what Danny Rowe's selling now, and I think I wasn't overly keen on him coming in, but I wasn't overly keen on Muscat or Gerrard either, because I don't like going back all the time. Walter Smith is a different kettle of fish, but I think Steven Gerrard, I wasn't overly keen on him coming back. But then the same with Kevin Muscat, it's the league standard. I don't know. Obviously, he's done well for himself, but I don't know. But Danny seems to be turning me round to his way of management or head coach, whatever you want to call him. So I think we're doing all right. A couple of signings in key positions, and I think we can make this a successful season.
Yep,
definitely. And there's a couple of things come in. So Junkie72 gifted one Rangers Rabble podcast membership. Thank you very much for that, mate. Very much appreciated. And then Mark came in with a full 99 super chat. What a turnaround! I think that's talking about the Danny Rowe and the turnaround he's given for the club. But as always, thank you very much for that super chat, mate. Paul's been a member for 5 months. Lads, a win's a win. 3-0 and a clean sheet. 3 points up the road. Definitely. And there's a wee question for you, Mark. We're going to come straight back to you. Our very own Willie has asked, you and I have been unwavering in our need for an experienced centre-back this window. How do you feel after watching Giga and Fernandez today?
I think he's probably going to be the same as me. I still think we need an experienced centre-back to replace Giga. I think, like I said, I think Fernandez, yeah, he was on the ball for me today. I think some of the calmness when he had the ball and just a little touches and flicks to get away from attacking Dundee players. I was like, he's come on leaps and bounds. I always thought there was something in the big man, but I thought he's definitely looking a lot more composed and like he's a proper Rangers centre back. So I still think Giga wasn't too bad, and I've been like his biggest critic, but I don't think he wasn't too bad today. But I still think he's prone to a little brain fart now and again. So I'd rather replace him. But then we've got Suter and we've got Cornelius coming back. So then maybe not. But I don't know. I think yes, we still need one. All that spiel for yes, we still need one. We still need a centre back experienced.
I mean, Kenny, I've been one of the biggest critics for Nasser Giga. Obviously, the big man's a bit of a bomb scale when it comes to defending. But there was one incident today that fully changed my mind. I said, keep him right now. We lost the ball when they were breaking on the right-hand side. Tav wasn't able to get back. And out comes from out of nowhere. Nasser Giga just fully comes across the pitch and clears his man out. No intent to get the ball. Straight yellow card, and he just says, sit your arse down, and then runs back to the centre-back role like he's done nothing wrong. But that's when you actually see Nasser Giga put in a centre-half's challenge and just go, sit down, and turn my opinion. I'm like, there you go, you can stay in the big man. That's the tackle there.
Listen, he's building a bond with Fernandez, and people only want to listen to this, but the two of them's definitely starting to get a bit of something. There's always been centre-back pairings over the years and years and years that one will calm the other, and it's trying to find who plays well with the other one. Aye, exactly. But it's no anything new. They're starting to really play well together. Listen, we still need a centre-back. Mark's right. Waterboot's right. We need somebody that's our player. There's nothing worse than Giga becoming a phenomenal player. We need to pay how many million for Wolves? No. Cheers for the chance in that, but we still need to go out and buy somebody who is ours long term and bed that player in. Now, don't be wrong, you're taking a chance here because Giga's been through it, and if he comes out the other end, it's a big argument to move him if him and Fernandes develop a decent partnership. But I see a massive improvement when he's playing alongside Fernandes. The two of them's got a wobble in them, but what centre pairing hasn't he? That's why goals get scored every week. So it's all very well. We can't just stand here waiting in fucking two metal Mickeys. You know what I mean? They just press the button and they just don't let anything by them. That doesn't happen. So it's nice to see the two of them growing like that because Gigas took some ping, and rightly so, right? But when Fernandes is playing alongside him, he seems to be getting a bit of continuity. So we still need a centre-back, of course we do, because we need our player. That's the reason that Magoma has been, and by the way, what a signing he's been in loan, but that's the reason we had to buy Romains in, because you need to have your player to learn the ropes, for long term. So I agree with you, Alex. I think the two of them's played great the last week while. And long may it continue, because we're on a charge, and as Ian put there, just look at the stats on our defensive quarter, how much we've leaked. Literally nearly none. So we can't really moan about them because there's nothing really happening going that way. And I think that comment come up there saying I don't remember anything that Butland had to do, because he didn't. Even when they attacked, it was nullified between wee Chucky and the two centre backs, or Magoma or your right back. It was just nullified. It was gone. It's just the importance up the other end. We need to get the earlier goals.
No, definitely. And another gifted membership from our very own Andrew Redrock. Andrew, thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that gifted membership. A couple of questions coming in, so I want to get to these. We'll go through these quick fire. We'll go with yourself with the first one, Kenny. How much do you think Thursday night will have impacted the performance today? Because obviously, you've seen it in the first half, it was a bit slow, but it picked up. What do you think the impact was? Fucking fly right in my face there. What do you think the impact Thursday had on that performance there?
I think that's the reason that Chermiti wasn't played. I think that's the flu. I think it's just the fact that it's becoming more and more important, because we know in a league fight and you've got the coefficient, everything's starting to play in your head now. You're fighting on all fronts. You've got cups, you've got Europe, you've got the league. It's brilliant, but it's a headache because it is an important game, man. It's no easy. You've got to try and get something out of that game, purely because you want to walk into the actual straight into the Champions League. You don't want to be doing any of this qualification nonsense. So yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare, mate, because it's like the Ludogorets game. I was with my mum on Thursday, and I said that to her. I said, these are all becoming important now because of the way the coefficients went and moved. If we can get 4 points for the couple of games, we'll do well. I take a draw. You play for a draw, you're playing in danger. But I think we're quite good at keeping teams out. It's just whether or not we can score the goals to get the points we need. That's the problem, unless we keep it 0-0.
And Mark, that leads on to the next point then. So obviously the Thursday night we've got Porto, but how does that then impact us when we've got Easter Road 3 days later on the Sunday? How's that then going to affect the team? Because we obviously need to get a result against Porto. As Kenny said, it needs to be a draw or a win to help the coefficient. But then surely Easter Road is going to be the more important game, because they're going to want an impact and a bounce. They just got beat 4-1 off of Falkirk, so they're going to want to see an impact. The team that they have to play for that impact though is us. So how does that actually affect us going into both of those games?
I think for me personally, I don't know about yourselves, but for me the Easter Road game's far more important than the Porto game. I also we still want to get a result. As Rangers, we want to win every game. A draw, and in Europe, I think a draw would be the best. I think for us, a draw or a win. Obviously, I think that would be fine. I'd be happy with that, and we've got the players to rotate anyway for both games, I think. So I would be going in with probably a slightly rotated team for Thursday and try and get the draw or a win. You never play for a draw, but you know what I mean. So if we get the draw, I'll be happy. But it's got to be Easter Road's the most important. The league's the most important. It's always been the most important for Rangers, always. So, and it definitely is, because like you say, if we get the league this year, it looks like touch wood, we could be straight into the Champions League group phase. So, or league phase, sorry. So that's got to be the standard. We don't get 40 million for beating Porto, do we? We get 40 million for winning the league and getting straight into the Champions League. So that's got to be the priority for me, definitely. But a draw against Porto on Thursday would suit me nice, because it's coefficient points, and then we move on to Easter Road and hopefully smash them, and then move on to the next one.
No, definitely.
It was nice. Sorry, mate. It was nice to see them getting beat 4-1 at Falkirk, because it's well deserved.
Falkirk with a nice wee hat trick for their young player up top as well. Kenny, how much do you think this is going to be a victim of our own success for Danny Rowe? Obviously coming in, turning the team from 8th to potential league title, and then other teams coming in saying, well, actually, we want that as a manager now, and saying we're going to take Danny Rowe. How much do you think that's actually going to have an impact on the club going forward?
I'll be honest with you, the guy seems as if he's got a bit of moral compass on him. So I don't think he's a tuck tail and run type of guy. I think he's one of the guys that would love to take a project to its full, whether that's winning one League Two, winning a few cups in the league, I don't know. But it just seems as if he's not the type of guy that, well, there's a Premier League job, I'll go. I don't think that they're built like that in Germany, if you get my meaning. I don't think he's like that. I think he's like, right, okay, I've got the tools here, I've got the backing of the board, I've got rid of 2 diddies out the board, I've got who I want in there, I can bring the players I want, I've got a great relationship. You know, you're taking a chance going to other clubs that you might not get that. And lots of managers in the Premier League and the Championship have found that out very, very quickly. That they don't have that cohesion with upstairs and, you know, the run of the place and stuff. And Danny had to prove that. Don't get me wrong here, as we all said in comments there. Danny's had to come in and prove that to the owners, because he's been let down with directors of football, etc. So I think he's in for the long haul. I think he'll see his contract out. I've never really said that before, but I really do think Danny Rowe's got a moral compass, like I said earlier, and I think he would knuckle down, especially if you get the league this year. You know, I think he's the type of guy we want to build a foundation before he left, like as in leave it where somebody could maybe take it on rather than just dump us and go. I'm not sure he's like that. Listen, it is football, Alex, isn't it? It is fit, but you just don't know. You just don't know, because his stock's rising. If he wins a league, it goes even higher again. But if it was abroad, Germany somewhere maybe, but I doubt it. I honestly think he's here for the long haul, mate.
I think he tries to take his hand in the Champions League and see actually how he gets on with that, rather than just going, you know what, I've got you there and I'll see you later. It would look a bit poor to be away. But before we get on to the other 2 goals, I wanted to say that I forgot in the first half that the big Fernandes trying the overhead kick. I was almost out my seat when I seen that. I was like, oh my God. Big man knocks it up for himself, Mark, and just goes, you know what, I'm going to have this. And it was going to be on target as well, and he just mishits it that wee bit. But for a centre half to go, do you know what, I'm going to overhead kick this, just shows that he's got something about him. I know a lot of the folk were saying that he used to be a striker and he converted to centre half.
Yeah.
My God, for one of the aerial threats we have got, it's got to be stick him at striker. Just stick Fernandes up there, because he's going to get his goals by the looks of it.
I mean, you've got to have him up there for free kicks and corners and stuff like that, and set pieces. He's got to be. He's massive. He's what, 6'5", some 6'6", something like that. He's a big guy. So I think you use that to your advantage. And if he had a history as a striker at youth level or whatever, then he's obviously. But who doesn't want to be striker when they're younger? So I think he's got a good control, good touch, a good shot, good header as well. I think definitely with the size of the boy, you've got to have him in there. So he's already got 5-6 goals this season, something like that. So I think he's doing well, and like big shades of Hugo Egiog back in the day, the overheader, lovely. I loved it. It was shame it never went on target or went in, but it's nice to see him trying these things, you know, because he's a centre back and he's massive. But I think we've definitely want to watch with him for 3.5 million. I think that was a bargain buy. It's turned out to be. I think if he carries on the trajectory he's on now, he's going to make us some money and some then. So I'm happy with the big man. It was a lovely attempt, but obviously never came to nothing.
I mean, Peterborough fans were slagging at the start of the season that we had wasted 3.5 million on Fernandes, that it was going to be the worst purchase we've done, and the big man's definitely went, well, here you go, show this. But Kenny, I want to talk about the couple of goals that came late on, because Rangers looked like they were going to throw it away from themselves. There was a few touches and a few passes that were just inviting the pressure from Dundee and weren't really clearing it. But it was good to see Bayrami getting back on after that injury, because he was hitting a good bit of form, got injured in the way he went. But him and Danilo coming on, as well with Finlay Curtis, we just seemed to go that little bit more direct. It was good to see wee Finlay. A few times he lost the ball, and he actually went back in for a challenge. It was like, we actually don't see that usually from Finlay. When he loses the ball, he's like, right, I've lost it. He was going back in for it. But another mistake at the back from Dundee. They tried to pass it back to the goalkeeper. Danilo gets a touch in, manages to actually take it down, very composed, runs at the goalkeeper. McCracken goes early, and Danilo slots it in the corner. It was a great take from him. Actually, for a change, he found himself in a good position, because usually he'd be nowhere near that position. But smart play from Danilo to get that goal.
Thanks for the goal, Danilo. Take care, buddy. I loved your da. You know, yay, he get handed a ball and scored a good goal. And listen, I'm not being negative, man. It's just he's done my head in. He's done. I mean, I can't hide. You know what I'm like? I can't hide it, man. The guy's no. Oh, thank you. Cheers. It's like Gassama. Oh yes, what a goal! Are you kidding me? On Finlay Curtis done more than 10 minutes. Gassama done the full bloody half. So listen, I'm happy. Goals, great, well done. Take them. But we should really be needing somebody to take a chance rather than get handed a pass to put the ball in the net. If he'd have missed that, man, I'd have drove up to Ibrox and I'd have took him in the back seat of my motor and I'd have fucking drove him away myself. So he should be scored. That's like a training ground goal. But listen, I'll take it. Because we haven't scored many. But Danilo's frustrated me, as you know, Alex. He's a bugbear of me. More energy at his dad in the side of the park. So I'll take the goals, but. Aye, thanks, pal. I appreciate it.
And going on to the one that Kenny just mentioned there, that he should be doing a lot more, is obviously Jerry Gassama. We have seen a lot out of him, Mark, where he's looked like he's got so much quality and then just loses concentration, seems to forget where he is, or I've said it a few times, he just panics, gets the ball and he panics because he thinks, right, do I need to pass it? Do I need to shoot? Do I need to run? Whereas this time he went cut in and didn't even think about it. Mark, he's cut in and went, I'm hitting it. And very nice goal, right in the corner. But a player like that we need to see more of, because we're seeing a lot more from, as Kenny said, Finlay Curtis, who isn't getting the same chances. Mikey Moore didn't have the greatest game. He's getting more chances. I just think when you look at it, Gassama should be a better player because he's been coached under Danny Rowe. He said he was good at Sheffield Wednesday, but he's come here and he's just not offered enough. And it was good that he got dropped, but he came on, had an okay, I'll say game, but gets the goal to top it off. But it's what we needed at the time, because it gets us the 3 points, 3 goals, and it does something that we needed. It helps that goal difference.
Yeah, it does. And I think what he does offer, I get the end product thing, because he's a winger and they're notoriously inconsistent, but what he does offer is he occupies other players on their team. He draws players to him, which creates space. But his final decision-making, i.e. crossing, passing, shooting, apart from today and another couple of times, he scored. That was a lovely goal today, but I mean, and we need the goal difference, because that's us 23, plus 23 or something like that, which is, obviously, it could come down to goal difference at the end of the season, so the more goals we get, the better. But like Kenny says, we shouldn't be leaving it till the last 5 minutes to score 2. We need to have somebody that can score from open play and not be handed it on a plate, although I'll take them. Danilo, it was. Yeah, I think he's the best finisher at the club, but he's never consistent enough. He's never on the field enough he's not busy enough to get us those goals, so he needs to be moved on. But Gassama definitely, he offers us something as in occupying opposition players, which creates space. So, but he doesn't. His final product isn't there. But then if he was the complete player, he obviously wouldn't be at us. So I think that's something that needs to be built on. And under the coaching of Danny Rowe going forward, because he's had him before, he may turn in, but wingers are notoriously inconsistent. So we've had it before. Who else have you had a complaint about that's a winger? They always tend to go hot and cold. So I think we stick with the boy and give him another season, see if he can push on and then try and move him on. But I'm not overly happy with how he's been playing recently, but I think who are you going to do? We've got enough players that we can rotate him in and out, if you know what I mean. So if he has that dip in form, then we can replace him with somebody else. But his goal was nice today. I'll say that. Definitely was nice.
Mark, would you say there's flashes of Ryan Kent, and can we be hypocritical? Because he's no offering any end product. He was really lazy today. He was really lazy. And then you get flashes of genius, right? Now, we waited in Ryan Kent doing that, didn't we? And he only done it for a season where we went to the final and all that carry on and whatever else. But there is that same feeling, isn't there? There's a same
there's similarities. There's definitely similarities. Yeah, but it's the winger. It's the malaise of the wingers, mate. That's what they do. I mean, especially even like top level, whatever players, they're still inconsistent. So they're more consistent than we've got, but they obviously still have those little brain farts, like I say. But there is definitely flashes of Ryan Kent in there, where he occupies players. That's one of the biggest things that I think people don't appreciate so much, is that he occupies opposition players, and that does create space for others to run into, which then opens up chances in the opposition's 18-yard box. So I think it's definitely something we need to appreciate a little bit more, but he needs to improve his end product, definitely.
But Kenny, how easy is he to occupy though? It seems like defenders can do it effortlessly. I can't even say the fucking word and I'm trying to get it out. Effortlessly. For Gassama, he doesn't seem like he offers enough, like he doesn't move to try and open the space or create the space. Unless the ball's been passed him directly, doesn't seem to be able to link up. Look at the amount of times we've seen it against Ludogorets where Magoma's trying to run to get him that link up, even the move. Then you've got Barron or Raskin there trying to get that link up. He doesn't move. So we're saying that it's an inconsistency in a winger. I think there's a bit of laziness in there from Gassama. Yes, it's a good goal today, but I think there's a bit of laziness in there and probably thinking he's too good for where he is. I shouldn't be here. And it's almost that Ryan Kent, I'm better than this. I can get better, and it's not going to happen. Maybe I've been a wee bit too harsh on Gassama, but his performances as of late haven't deserved the starts that he's been getting.
So the end of that there was probably where I'm at. Is I don't think we've got much cover there, but yeah, is Finlay ready to take a start? I don't know, but see Gassama just needs to learn to work hard, and the second part is get to the box and just try and beat the guy the once, because you can easily do a guy once. You see it 100 times when he does the guy, but then he does the guy again, and then the guy doesn't fall for the third time, and then somebody's come over to cover and he's in deep trouble, and then he has to pass it. But surely, to good God, it must be very difficult for the Rangers backroom staff to coach that out. Is there a bit of lost in translation? I don't think so, because he's played down in England for years. But remember when, I'm sure Ian was very good at going on to the Sheffield Wednesday's pod guy, you know what I remember? And he was talking about things like that in the fan base. And they were saying, what was it they said? Apart from the season, Danny Rowe came in and stopped and get relegated and took them. Up to that point, he had a lot of energy, but he had no end product. Remember that in the page? And that was from the Sheffield Wednesday fan, a supporters kind of club thing that Ian Thompson had managed to speak to. And do you know something? It's stuck in my head, that. So I don't know if he's just taking a lot longer than other lads. Maybe the other lads are taking a lot quicker, because Rowe did say it took him a bit of time to get Gassama with the end product, but then he was absolutely brilliant. It's just how long do we give? It's all right now because we're winning, but see if we drew that game today or get bet, would we be as nice about his effort? I'm not quite sure we would be.
No, I definitely don't think we would be, but I think with players coming back from injury, like Multiple Man says, with Bayrami coming back, you've got Mikey Moore, you've got Finlay Curtis, we've got Ant-Man, who, since coming back from injury, hasn't been featured. We've got Skov Olsen, so there's a number of wingers available in the club now that I said it when we brought in Skov Olsen. These positions will definitely be up for grabs now. I think Skov Olsen got his start today because we were at home against Dundee, and because of the way that game was going, he was going to get his start because he's fit. But I think everybody will have to fight for that place. I was very surprised when I did see Gassama not starting, but I think it was the right thing to do, Mark, because when he came on, as Kenny said, he didn't offer anything. I actually didn't. I was doing the graphics and I was like, where the fuck did Gassama come from? Because I actually didn't realise he was even on. And I think that shows how much of an impact he was having, that he's not doing that enough to inspire folk that you can see the quality. We know it's there, but we don't see it enough.
I agree, totally agree. He's not showing it enough. He's showing it in little flashes. But that's not enough, especially for a couple like yours. That's not enough to be shown in flashes, and he'll find very quickly if he doesn't improve that he won't be in the team, because there's a lot of wingers on the other side, and there's a lot of wingers on the bench and in the squad that can come in and take his place. So if he wants to continue with those performance levels, then he'll soon suffer just sitting on the bench or not even being on the match day squad. So, but I see after the game, Danny Raw was had him like in a cuddle and was talking to him and congratulating him on his goal. So he obviously must have been happy with the goal and something that he's seen. But I was like used to, he doesn't really offer a lot, but he'll soon find himself out the team if he doesn't, and especially if Scovilson and that actually kicks on and becomes the player that we hope he's going to be. And the other players, like say Ant-Man coming back into the fold, because he's been right with the picture obviously, and then he comes back from injury. So I think he does definitely improve, or he won't be in the team. That's what I would say. So, but he's only 22, so he's still got time.
I think there's something in this team, and my head just went blank. I was going to say something, and I've gone. I don't even know. I've gone. That was it. Do you think, obviously, with the loan that we all were talking about last week of Finlay Curtis, Kenny, do you think for the impact he showed when he came on against the Regrets and today, do you think that that's going to be still an option that we loan him out to Kilmarnock, or do you think Danny's starting to see that he has got that bit of quality that we keep him in the team and actually have him about to come on and make an impact and even start in some of the games, because he came on today and made more of an impact than some of the players that were actually on the pitch?
Yeah, it's a bugbear for me because we have started him before and he was really panicked and all the rest of it, so everybody jumped on him, and then when he comes on off the bench he seems to have more relaxed atmosphere round about him, because he's not having to come on and start the game and try and be the person that does the most work down the wing. So I don't know, but it's very telling, right, that Danny Rowe and Rangers have been linked with another couple of wingers. They've been linked with all these players out wide again, especially Rodriguez and your other fella, I can't remember the guy's name. So I'm not so sure, man. I think he might be on his way. If he does bring another right winger in, which he probably will, I'm not so sure he's going to be there. I think he'll be put out to get minutes to develop the way Lyle Cameron is, and he's taking his chance unbelievably well. It's not a coincidence that Aberdeen are now scoring plenty of goals. It's not a coincidence their work rates went up. It's not a coincidence they're gelling. That wee guy is showing you that we are kind of missing what we should have done. In my view, I've always liked the guy. It's just the way I'm at. But it's the same with Curtis. Curtis, he might have to go to develop because I think he's a sub player. But you're right, when he came on, he was making the difference. But again, I think they're wanting a different quality. I think they're trying to build something different than what we've got, because we were linked with Bowie and all these players, and I think that's just like what we've got. I think we've got to think something a wee bit outside the box, and that's why your Chikwani's coming in, your Rowans and all that, and your Dal Hierto and all that kind of stuff. I think poor Finlay's stuck in a bit of a warped world where he doesn't know himself what's going to happen, because Finlay seems like a decent player to me to have as a squad player 100%, and then eventually maybe take his chance. That's where I would see him. I think he's too good to just put out there. But if he brings in an internationalist like he's done again, then you're going to end up with him losing a spot, and I think he would say to his agent then, listen, I'm not sitting here again, third choice, when I've come on and I feel as if I've done enough.
No, and it's so true that there's obviously a lot that we can take from this game today. There's a lot of conversations we can be having, but I think we're going to leave it there, gents, because we could keep going all night, and it'll leave Martin nothing to talk about when his internet's actually back working. I will say now that the Morning Rabble should happen. We know what Martin's like. His internet has been playing up a lot, but it should happen tomorrow morning. We will then obviously have your live at 5 and your show tomorrow night, followed by the wrestling. So Kenny, Mark, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Appreciate it. It's been asked in the comments, and what we will do, we'll play it before we go. Right, you know what? Na 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 na. Nico Raskin.
I get it. Play again.
Oh, right, one minute. There you go.
Na 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 na. Nico Raskin.
There you go. That just finishes it. There you go. And the women's pod will be on tomorrow at 6:30. So plenty of content to keep you going. But folks, if you do want to sign up to be a member of the Rabble, you can do for as little as $1.99 a month. All the links are down below in the description. But as I said, Kenny and Mark, thanks very much for joining me. Thanks very much for everyone in the comments. And until next time, we'll see you all again very, very soon.